Hey, my name is Rebecca. Welcome back to my channel. But today we're going to do thrift flips, and I'm going to hopefully have 3 of these for you, but we'll see how many I actually get done. These are things that I bought back in the summer and I just haven't gotten around to doing them, so I'm going to take you along with me as I do it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, this is the first dress that I'm thrift flipping, and it needs a lot of work, but I think the bones are good. So I like the length and the color and the buttons, but it needs to be taken in, and I really need to get this lace off. And I also want to lift up the shoulders just so it fits me better in the shoulders. So here I'm just getting out my seam ripper, getting ready. And I'm seam ripping off those horrible shoulder pads, and they are seriously so thick. I was actually really surprised about how big these shoulder pads were. So the first step with a dress like this is to take it in at the sides, and so I'm just putting it on inside out and grabbing pins and making it the desired size that I need. And the good thing with this dress is that I had buttons, so no matter how small I made it, I didn't need to insert a zipper, so that was a huge plus for me. And then because I'm a perfectionist, I just wanted to make sure I was taking off the same amount from each side, so I measured how much I was taking off at that horizontal line and then just divided it by 2 to ensure that it was even. And here I am sewing it all up. Make sure you do a back stitch like I didn't do, and then go slowly over these armpit sections and insert the needle and lift up the presser foot and turn the fabric just so it fits a proper body, because you do have an angle there. And yeah, just go slowly, make sure that you're not catching any fabric from the actual dress, and you should be good. So my plan is to seam rip off the sleeves and seam rip it off this neckline, and then do everything up again and see if I like the sleeves with it. I don't know, we'll see. And here I am, beginning to seam rip. Oh, what a fun process. So yeah, I seam ripped the neckline, the shoulders, and the sleeve seams out, which took quite a long time just to get that lace out. Alright, so this is where we're at with the dress. Again, I've taken it in, and I had to deconstruct everything to get that lace out. So it was a ton of seam ripping, but I think it was really worth it because I like it a lot more without the lace. So I deliberated for a good long while about what I should do with the sleeves here, whether I should make it a sleeveless or whether I should put the sleeve back on. And it took me a while, but I really think I'm going to keep the sleeve. Yeah, I'm just going to reattach it because I think it looks a little bit fancier. Like this is more just kind of like a summer picnic look to me, and this I could actually wear to like a fancier event. I think it just looks like classier and nicer than this. So yeah, my next step is I'm gonna reconstruct everything. I need to sew these seams back up, like my shoulder seams, and then I'm gonna redo the neckline, and then I'm gonna reattach the sleeves, and then it'll be done. So I'm just pinning the facing back to the neckline just to make it look pretty, and here I am just sewing it right up, making it look nice. Also watching some Netflix at the same time. When you have facing, you want to do an understitch with it just so it doesn't roll back out to the outside. So stitch a line just on the facing on the inside of the garment. And I'm also going to pin and sew the back side of the neckline. So once I've reconstructed the neckline, I can put the shoulder seams back together. So just pin them right sides together and sew it right up. My last step is to reattach these sleeves, and I also wanted to readjust them so that they sat higher on my shoulder. And at first I thought this was going to be so easy, and oh my goodness, it was so difficult. It took me so long, it's embarrassing. So I'm going to share with you what I learned. When adjusting the sleeve height, you might need to take fabric from the actual bodice or the sleeve, and you'll find this out after you pin it once, and you'll figure out how much you need to take and from where. But before you undo these pins, I would recommend marking where you have placed the sleeve so that you can replace it in the exact same spot, or you will keep running into issues. So then once you've taken all of that fabric off and you've pinned it in place, I'd recommend hand basting the sleeve and the bodice together to see if it works, and then you can sew it all up. And if you get any puckers, just seam rip 1 inch around the pucker and fix it, and then make sure you measure the distance of the seams to the middle and repeat on the other side. And here's how it turned out. I love this dress so much. I cannot wait to wear it in the summer or the spring. It just looks so much better, don't you think? This is honestly such a victory for me, and I'm super excited about it because it took me so long to put those sleeves on. So I'm just so happy that it actually turned out and it looks good, and I just cannot wait to wear it. Alright, so our next victim is this long brown skirt with a slit on the side, and while it's kind of nice like this, I didn't want it to exactly be the maxi look. I wanted it to be more midi, and I wanted a ruched skirt. So my plan was just to take both sides and ruche them with elastic to get that asymmetrical effect on both sides, so it would look like this, which is super, super cute. So to do this, I just kind of played around with it and I grabbed the fabric at both ends and ruched it up. And the way that I did this is I ruched it up to the desired length and then I measured that so I could see how much elastic I needed. And I ended up needing about 7 inches for each side. I then put pins where my fingers were so I knew where geographically I needed to place the elastic. So I'm just going to forewarn you that this did not work, but basically I just cut out the elastic 7 inches, pinned it to the top, and stretched it out as I sewed it, and you're going to see here why it didn't work. So it is the next day, and I've done a couple things off camera just to figure out the skirt situation. I originally tried to do the ruching with elastic, but the elastic just made it kind of... it just looks bad. I'll show you. So I decided instead to do a gathering stitch and then go over that with a regular straight stitch just to hold it in. So we're gonna do that. So to start your gathering stitch, you're basically just doing a straight stitch with the longest stitch length. So just increase that stitch length on your machine. Do not back stitch either at the beginning nor at the end because that will completely screw it up. So just do a long straight stitch. Okay, so I did my gathering stitch. So what I'm gonna do is tie off one side, the top and the bottom threads. And I clearly didn't make my threads long enough because you kind of want to leave a little bit of a tail so that you're able to actually tie it because I am struggling. Alright, so I have tied off both the bottom bobbin and the top thread of this on one side. So tie off the bottom and the top thread on one side, and the other side you're gonna leave the top thread just hanging loose. Make sure you don't pull on it though or it will unravel. And what I do is I grab this bottom thread, good thing it's long, and I grab it gently so I don't break it, and I slide the material over top of the thread, and then I just pull that up and move it along to the very top. So I'm just gonna do that, and yeah. So once you've ruched it up to the desired length we measured earlier, you're just gonna tie off both the top and the bottom strings of this. And then I'm just gonna do a regular straight stitch over top of this ruching just to hold it in place. In case this longer stitch ever breaks, it will just hold it in. So now that we're all done, I'm gonna show you the final look. I really like how it turned out. I like the asymmetrical ruching so much. It just looks really unique, and you can do this to so many of your maxi skirts and dresses, and you can always undo it too if you ever just want a maxi skirt again. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you try any of these and let me know which one is your favorite. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.